Like, apologize for the first time. Oh God, I live a busy life nowadays. Yeah, do we start now? Yeah, we'll start now. Yeah, apologize for the first time around. I live a very busy life. Put in 11-hour day today, and today Mrs. Phoenix Motorsports took her final exam for the night classes she's been going to. So there's nowhere to park in Pittsburgh. It's not exactly the greatest area. I took her down there and waited for her in a gas station parking lot just down the road, and tried to go live there. Unfortunately, I forgot my microphone, and this phone, the microphone on it sucks. I would like to go live from the computer. I have a much better webcam. I can actually hook up a GoPro, either one of my GoPros, and use that as a webcam. You have a better mic that way, but it seems like the algorithm likes it when you do this from a phone. At least it reaches more people. But if you checked out the thumbnail, we're talking about a pretty cool story from back in the day, and kind of give you a little background about what Phoenix Motorsports is actually about. Okay, number one, we are not in Phoenix. We're about 20 to 30 minutes drive southeast of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in a suburb. Um, the idea of Phoenix is rise from the ashes. Rise from the ashes of a broken life through motorcycles, through fixing, selling, riding, just everything motorcycle. Um, yeah, that's me. See, I always had a motorcycle no matter how broke I was, right? Those of you who know me from back in the days of when I had my little apartment when I first started over my life, like, dude, I'm a fuck up. I am. I've never been to prison. I'm like 4 years, 7 months clean and sober. Never went to prison, but I'm a fuck up. You know, I was a drunk, and at 25, my life was somewhat established. I had a little wannabe workshop in my basement. I was tinkering with bikes. I've always had a motorcycle, no matter how broke I was. It might have been some $200 pallet of junk that I pulled out of the weeds and kept running, but I always had a bike. And one of the main things that inspired me to clean up my life, change my ways, be a better person, make more money, and live this American dream that I'm living right now was my love for motorcycles. Uh, I kind of want to spread that love. I feel like God has blessed me, so I'd like to spread it and bless someone else. And the best way for me to do that is drop some knowledge on you, how to fix up these old bikes, get them running, and enjoy it. Maybe not everybody got enough money for a new bike. Maybe somebody ain't got enough money for even a decent used bike, right? Well, I'm the guy to come to. I've got a Facebook page set up. We've got a Facebook group set up. I'm very active on Messenger. If you have a problem with your machine, you can message me. I'll talk you through it the best I can. If you're close to me, dude, I'll come out there and try to fix your bike for you. Uh, do a lot of work out of my garage. I charge what I feel is appropriate, and it's not even half of what your average bike shop charges. Uh, it is what it is, man. I do this for the love of doing it. And the YouTube thing is to kind of get my message out there and to hopefully attract some business for the shop, or at least get the message of what I call salvation through motorcycles. Uh, I am not the most religious man, but on my desk and in my saddlebag, we keep one of them. I believe in having one of them. I believe in having one of them at all times. So, checked out the thumbnail, right? Fernando C. Hey, what's up, Fernando? If you checked out the thumbnail, man, this harkens all the way back to when I was 25. I had started over my life again with nothing. I had this crappy little apartment, right? Argentina, badass, man. I am near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, United States. Anyways, in this tiny little apartment, I had a couch, I had a refrigerator, was always full of beer. I had a roller toolbox, a drill press, a vise mounted to the roller toolbox, and a couple of old Honda motorcycles. I didn't have no money. I spent it all on beer and drugs, but I had a bike to ride, and I built a bike. It was actually, of all things, my very first street bike that I had sold to a friend, and it sat in a garage for years and didn't run. I got it back and got it running. Just I had nothing else going on in life, and I did it in that apartment. Uh, the amount of trash and beer cans laying there was unreal. But I put that old bike, I took it apart down to the frame, put it back together, and fixed everything needed fixed. And yeah, that was it. So anytime my life has gotten tough, and I felt like I had nothing else to look forward to, I thought about the wind in my face and an engine rumbling, and it's gotten me through. And that's kind of like the message that I would like to send to y'all. So big thanks. I know you're live right now at the moment, Black Dragon, but Black Dragon Biker TV shouted my channel out. Some of y'all may have come here from that. He shouted out on his live, played a little bit of it. Huge thanks, homie. That means a lot to me. It really does. Like, you ain't have to take a couple minutes out of your time and out of your life to actually promote my channel. I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, and I hope I make you proud, brother. I don't exactly do what those guys do. There's been two other channels that have shouted me out. Chatting with Stacks, Bill Stacks. Oh man, hey, don't. I'm gonna let that go. Chatting with Stacks, Hollywood from Insane Throttle. I watch them when I'm at work. I'm not able to comment. I don't really watch it so much as listen to it while I'm at work because I'm busy doing things. And if I can, I comment. No, I'm not pissed about that, man. Just don't mess with people. That's not cool. But anyway, it's so I listen to their show, and I don't really do what they do. I don't really cover biker news. Um, it's not my thing. I am, before this live is over, I am going to talk about one thing, and I have my reasons. It has to do with cycle drag and what had happened. We'll get into that. But what you'll see on this channel is a whole lot of motorcycle wrenching when I have a bike in the shop being worked on. Uh, I love doing moto vlogs. They're fun as hell. I just like doing it. Oh yeah, dude. They're Brazil just sided with Argentina against the U.S. Navy. Well, that was pretty stupid of them. Yeah, I hear you, man. Look, we got some craziness going on in the world with this war, and that's one thing about this channel is I try to keep politics out of it as much as I can. Like, I want folks to come here and just chill and shut all that shit off in your brain and turn on your thoughts about motorcycles, and the biker lifestyle, right? Just chill your brain, you know what I'm saying? But the cycle drag thing, it's been all throughout every channel. Everybody's touched on it. I have met Jack from Cycle Drag. Um, Here in Argentina, there are Hell's Angels. My dream is to have a Harley, but it's out of my budget. Yeah, but if you keep saving, man, and you find an old one that's beat up and you could bring it back to life, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm about, right? You don't need to have a whole lot of money to have a cool motorcycle. You need to have patience. You need to have some kind of place to work on it. And it helps to have good friends that are mechanics. And if you're watching my stuff and you're subscribed, you're my friend, man. You can find me on Facebook, Kevin Baumgartner. Phoenix Motorsports Inside Circle is the Facebook group. It's a private group. You'll have to ask to join. We'll let you in. And any questions you got on just about, like, I've worked on everything from Amarachi to Zundap. I've owned them all. I will help you. You know what I'm saying? I will help you fix your own bike up, and someday you could have that badass Harley you always wanted. Hells Angels is a gang like triads or cartels in way down here. It's a Canadian flag, I think. Look, man, I don't necessarily speak on motorcycle clubs. Um, there's a whole lot of hoopla going on. There is like a motorcycle club war, and like straight up, I live like in the heart of one of their territories, and the dudes. I don't want to say like I know them, but in my drinking days before I sobered up, a lot of them drank in the same bar as me. They were always respectful to me. I was always very respectful to them. And we talked about motorcycles. We kept the conversation about motorcycles and motorcycles only. And they were always cool, man. I rode a Honda at the time. So what they do is what they do, man. And, you know, you can have any organization and you can have good people and you can have bad people in that organization. So I can't really look at it as a whole like that. I just really wish that the violence, man, like the shooting that happened near Pittsburgh, I really wish y'all would take that shit out to the wilderness or up in the mountains where there ain't people. Like they say the shooting happened in front of a Wendy's, and it's true, it did. What they don't tell you is directly across the street from that Wendy's is a, pardon my language, a fucking Dairy Queen. And there's always like kids with baseball teams and shit there getting ice cream. Man, and little kids see that, that could scar them for life. Like, do what you're gonna do. I don't know why you would want to kill somebody, man. You might have a good reason for all I know. I'm just saying, do it in a place where innocent people can't get hurt. You know what I'm saying? And do what you do, just do it over there or right away from innocent people. And that's all the more I'm gonna touch on that subject. But the cycle drag thing, if you watch his YouTube and you follow him on Facebook, uh, the incident with that happened last night at Biketoberfest. He filmed a dude that was insanely drunk, falling asleep on his motorcycle, and he offered, right, like, yo, bro, can I get you an Uber home or something? You okay to ride? And dude's like, I am my. He's hammered. Hey, what do I do? What do I do? Well, look, man. There's people on social media talking about, oh, you should take his keys, you should knock him over, you're a bitch, you're this, you're that. Listen. When I drank heavy back then, especially if I was into the liquor, you weren't going to take my keys without a fight. Yeah, you could say bad words. I try not to because YouTube frowns. But anyways, you weren't going to take my keys. You weren't going to tell me. You could probably whoop my ass, but I'm going to fight like hell and I'm not going to fight fair. So I can understand, like, I met Jack. He's not the biggest, most masculine motherfucker. He might be a kung fu master for all I know, but I don't blame him. My whole issue with it is it looks and it feels like he did the whole thing just for views. Dig it, I get it. We all want views, right? But I got a day job, man. Like in the post I made earlier, I work like 55 to 60 hours a week. This is a hobby for me. It's one that keeps me busy, and being busy keeps me sober and keeps my mind straight. So I'm not depending on getting a shit ton of views to pay my bills. My bills are fucking paid and more. You know what I mean? I'm good. I work in a steel mill. I'm paid pretty well for what I do. I'm not getting rich, but we're living comfortably. And that was my whole thing. Like, maybe he could have talked to him more, like just bullshit to the guy, you know, talk his ear off, get him to stay there as long as you can. Maybe by then some other people would have come around and like, yo, bro, you're too drunk. Anything. Like, don't call the cops. Ain't nobody wants to be a rat because homeboy would have got arrested. But I feel like he could have done a little more, and just the way it went about it, like he initially posted it and then right away somebody put up about the accident. The guy crashed his bike and got foobarred, man. He's on life support. And it wasn't like 2 hours of people flaming him on Facebook. Oh, prayers to the family. No, man, you didn't care about that dude's family. You care about people watching your shit. I dig it, man. I get it. We all need money. You had to pay your bills. That's cool. I can understand that. But to me, it seems like a douchebag move. But then again, I'm a different breed, right? I'm a dirty white boy, broke ass fucking trucker that barely was able to make a go of it. I was a garbage man for a while, you know, like, dude, I didn't get my first Harley till I was like 39 years old. I always wanted one. I couldn't afford one, you know? So for me, it's totally different. Like, I have a different set of like thought on that. I just feel like it was kind of a douchebag move to gain views and to gain clout, anything like that. It wasn't cool. And my interaction with the guy, he seemed pretty cool. He actually used me in one of his thumbnails for the Motorsports shindig back here earlier this summer, in the beginning of June. Lulu Key. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Lulu Key? It, all right, do your thing. I didn't see him ride up on a bike, that's for sure. But I did see him run around with an iPhone, shoving it in everybody's face, and he was covering some bikes. We talked to this guy that had a really cool Kawasaki. Oh man, I can't even remember the exact name of the bike. It was one of the late models that was supposed to look like a 70s KZ 1000. We stood around for like 20 minutes talking to this guy about his bike, and it was cool. Indonesia, that's badass. Cool, man. Y'all do Indonesia. Y'all have like them tricked out scooter drag races, right? I've seen some of that on social media, on Facebook and stuff. Like, you guys go all freaking out on them things. That's crazy. And they rip too. Rock on, man. That is cool. Like me, I don't pick one particular brand. Yeah, you're gonna see Harley stuff. Like I have, I got my models, and we got that. We got the David Mann art on the wall. Obviously, I'm a Harley Davidson fan, but I'm an American. And I'm kind of fat. I don't fit so good on a crotch rocket, right? So naturally, I'm going to ride a Harley. If I wanted to buy a Harley in the United States, which one would be the most affordable or easiest to buy? My dude, it depends on a lot of things. Right now, the early TC series bikes. So, there's gray areas here. They started putting the twin cam 88 in the electric glides in 99, but the soft tails, I think they were 98. But basically 2000 to 2003, you're seeing them sell very cheap. There's a couple of reasons for it. They have a Undertaker WWE. Nah, I look more like Mick Foley, man. But there's a couple of reasons for that, though. They do have a timing chain issue, but not an issue. If you maintain them properly and you change the timing chain tensioners every 30,000, or if you do like I did and you upgrade to a hydraulic one, which it costs like anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 for the parts. If you do that, they're a 150,000-mile motorcycle, and you can get a Harley Davidson Big Twin anywhere. I've seen them as low as 3,000 US dollars, and that's kind of crazy price. Like, even let's go back to when they were new. Like, you couldn't touch a Sportster in the early 2000s. You couldn't touch a used Sportster for less than 3,000, and that was early 2000s money. But Harley Davidson Sportsters, definitely the Evo years, 1986 and on up. 85 was an Evo as well, but it was an 1100 Evo. Basically the same, but the bores are slightly different. You could still find parts for it, but 86 on up, Evo Sportsters, I have seen them sell for $1,500. You can't beat them. Be it as the country you live in, you don't have the crazy highways that we got. Like, you're not going to have to cruise 90 miles an hour to keep up with traffic, because that's the Sportster's weakness. You get them over 75 mile an hour, they vibrate bad. They'll go, depending on how you gear them, but stock configuration, yeah, you probably get 120 miles an hour out of them, but that's all they got. They're more of a blast around the city, rip around the back roads. I mean, with the right mods, you can get 100 horsepower out of a 1200 Sportster. And for a bike that weighs like 500 pounds with 100 horsepower, she's going to shit and get. It's just the inherent design of the engine. It's only going to rev so high, and with the gearing to get it to really do highway speeds, you're not going to like it. I had one because I had a pretty horrific motorcycle crash in 2018. Compound fractured both my feet, broke my right wrist for the second time, knocked out my front teeth. Broke 3 ribs, broke my back. I was FUBAR. And 16 weeks later, I walked out of a rehab facility, went home, strapped a cane to my beater bike. and I went for a ride. My beater bike at the time was a Honda Shadow, and it was actually foobar, fucked up beyond all recovery. I got broke. Um, I couldn't hold up a Honda Shadow. I wasn't physically strong enough. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to pick up a Harley Sportster 1200 that was lighter than my Honda Shadow. It sat lower and it was thinner, and I was able to maneuver that bike and handle that bike while I was healing up. Now I didn't know there was a movie called Fubar. Anyways, so I enjoyed it for one summer, but I kind of looked like a rhinoceros with a rollerblade jammed up my ass riding that thing, man. I was like 5'10", and I was probably 300 pounds back then. It just wasn't the bike for me, but it served its purpose. And once I healed up a little better and was able to handle a bigger bike, we actually went into a Honda VTX 1300, which I traded that Sportster for. Yes, I traded a Harley for a Honda because the VTX 1300 suits a big man much better than a Harley Sportster. And like I said, I'm not necessarily a Harley guy. I own two of them. I love me some Harley Davidson, but OG Canadian content. I'll have to check that out. It'd be like getting two birds stoned on the same joint at the same time. Can't eat 17 cans of ravioli first. Yes, I'm a huge Trailer Park Boys fan, man. It's the way of the road. Fucking way she goes. Y'all Canadians, man. Y'all Canadians are a little different, man. And part of Pennsylvania I'm in, it gets pretty cold. But man, I watch some other YouTubers up there like Zip Ties and Bias Plies. That's my boy. He'd be out there minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, cold starting to be. No, no, no. Like it gets minus 10 out here. That, believe me, I've ridden on the back of a garbage truck in that weather. I can handle it, but I don't like it. So y'all are crazy. But the Can-Ams, man, and the Spiders are the shit now. Dude, Can-Am was the shit in the late 70s as far as motocross bikes. Like the Widowmaker, they were unreal. And I kind of really wish that they would get a little more heavily into that. But now it seems like everybody's messing with the side-by-sides. I kind of fell off on the dirt bike thing. I love me some dirt bikes, but everywhere around here that we used to ride has been closed down. It sucks. The one place that was not owned by a gas company, somebody crashed really bad, broke their neck. They had to be life flighted, and they sued the crap out of the property owner. They had to because they had bills. It is what it is, and they shut that down. They literally put razor wire fence. So that was like '05, and that's when I sold my last dirt bike, which at the time was a 1986 Honda XR600R. I love that bike. I talk about my forever bike and that one thing. That XR600 should have been a forever bike. My dumbass sold it, starting my life over, doing what I had to do, and I needed the money. The bike needed, it was on its third overhaul. It was overhauled once. I beat it into the ground, overhauled it again. It was needing its third. It was smoking bad. I had to let her go. I got 3 dirt bike tracks in my city. That's badass. Jumps and shit. I don't think we can sue people like you can, though. Well, look, if you're going to an actual track, yeah, because you're probably going to have to sign a waiver. This was just a big chunk of woods that people would just go and ride on. And when they found out it was owned by the gas company got money. Is what it is. Motocross is pretty big around here. A lot of people are into it, and there are still places to ride. But like we're talking 90s when I was a kid, like my dad lived out in the country. I would literally jump on my dirt bike and putt it like a half a mile down the road, and I could get on the trails. And I could ride all day on the trails. Now, even where my dad lives, I'd have to drive 35, 45 minutes to an hour from his house just to get somewhere to ride. And even then, it's kind of shady. They can kick you out and everything else. In Pennsylvania now, you got to have a title for your dirt bike, a license plate from the DNCR, and insurance, which is crazy. That's the dream. Yeah, it was cool, man. I missed it, but nothing you can do now. I mean, a street and trail bike might be cool because I can go out and adventure these places. But honestly, man, I am held together with titanium pins and shit and screws. I'm like a fat fucking evil Knievel. I couldn't, like, one good dirt bike crash would screw me over. I'd be done. And that's why we ride noisy, shiny Harley Davidsons. When you crash one of them, it hurts, but you don't crash as often. If you're riding a dirt bike hard, and I'm sure you know this, if you're riding your dirt bike properly, you're going to crash it every time you take it out, man. Hey, right on, man. Appreciate you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. Look, I don't like make a lot of money off this at all, really, man. So like people subscribing and commenting and shit, that gives me inspiration to keep making videos and keep doing stuff. Like I said, you follow my channel, I'll drop as much motorcycle knowledge from a mechanic's point of view on you as I possibly can. That's what this channel is about. But I work a lot of crazy hours. Okay, and the idea was to start buying some of these bikes off marketplace, fixing them up and flipping them. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have the time to do it and give it justice, as well as create content and edit and everything else. There will be some stuff coming up like that, but I don't at this point right now. Maybe when it gets colder in the winter, my work will slow down to like 45 hours a week. I'll have more time. To right now, we got a bike coming in, hopefully Thursday or Friday. Belongs to a brother to another mother, guy I've known for 20 some years, man. And he is going to give it to his daughter. She's not subscribed, so I guess I can get away with dropping that dime. And before he gives it to her, I'm going to go through it. It's been sitting forever. He wanted to basically junk it or sell it. But Nicole told him, no, man, you can't. That's mine. You're supposed to leave me a motorcycle, Dad. So, all right, dude. We're not going crazy. It's not a full frame off restoration. It's more or less go through the bike, clean it up, find any problems that are there. And I know of two of them already. Do what it needs for it to be safe and good enough for somebody to learn to ride on. You know, there may be some eBay used parts getting put in this machine. There may be some stuff that could be replaced, but I'm going to rebuild with some of the spare parts that I got here. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Little things. If you watch some of my other lives, we had a Kawasaki EX250 Ninja a fella had brought to me, and it was kind of like a lost cause. At least that's what the local bike shop had told him. This thing's a lost cause, dude. Just junk it. Like, nah. It ain't a lost cause. They just can't make enough money on you. Bring it over. Let me look at it. Well, look, dude, the hours I work, we literally just moved into this house and this shop. It took me a lot longer to get it finished than I wanted. It literally took me like 4 weeks, but it got trailered into my garage and it got rode home. And he's still riding it now. And then that was like a month ago. So it's just a matter of time. Like, we didn't necessarily put used parts. We put some eBay parts into it. It was mainly some of the things, the carburetors didn't necessarily need rebuilt. They needed set up. They needed synchronized and tuned. His rear master cylinder had locked up. So what I do is I can get it, or you can order it and send it to me. And that's what he did. He ordered one and sent it to me, but it was like a universal one that said it would fit. Yeah, it wasn't fitting. I literally had to beat his apart with a hammer and punch and take the guts from his rear master cylinder out, remove the guts from the new rear master cylinder and put that in because they were the same size to make it work. I have to do a front master cylinder on the Suzuki that's coming in. We're probably going to do the same thing because I have a master cylinder that is the same size as far as the actual plunger and the cylinder itself, but it's not going to match the bike. So we're going to take the guts out of what I got, put in his bike, and make it work. So what time we got here? It's 8:45. I think I'm going to sign off here in a little bit. I'm getting tired. I don't know where y'all are at. It's 8:45 here, and I get up at 4 a.m. for work. I'm out the door at 20 after 4. Tomorrow's not an extremely long day, but gotta go in early and get my day knocked out because if you watch my shorts, uh, we got that pit bull named Tula. I think we're gonna get her a brother tomorrow. The local shelter where we got her has one that he literally looks like he could be one of our pups. He's about 2 years old. He's a big sweetheart. I just have to take my pit bull there and we have to introduce them and see if they get along well. Tula was abused pretty bad before we got her, and she has some issues. She doesn't like other female dogs at all. She doesn't like cats at all. And she's funny with men. If I'm there, you're okay. If I'm not there and just Mrs. Phoenix Motorsports is here, we gotta lock the dog up because she's ain't having it. It don't matter. Uh, you'll have that when you take in a rescued animal that was abused. She's just extremely protective of Mrs. Phoenix Motorsports, and she's untrusting of men. If you're a dog person, and animals can sense whether you're a good person or not. If you're a dog person, she can sense that you're friendly and everything's cool. Then you're cool with her. If not, she's gonna bark and growl and let you know that, dude, don't come near me. So we gotta get through work early. The shelter's only open till 4 tomorrow, and grab up Miss Tula, take her on down the way to the shelter, and introduce the two doggies and see how they get along. Which, coincidentally, that shooting that happened in White Oak, PA, it's about a mile away from the shelter we're going to. So, anyways, like I said, that'll be things to come, man. You'll see me working on some bikes here. There'll be some more moto vlogging stuff. Best motorcycle brands in Argentina are the Japanese ones: Honda, Kawasaki, or Yamaha. Like I said, Harleys are expensive here. Dude, I dig Yamaha. I've owned a whole bunch of Hondas. You really, honestly, you can't go wrong with a Honda. Quality on them has gone down since the mid 2000s. A lot more plastic engine covers. I just don't like to see that. It feels like they're cheaply made. The front fenders are made of plastic. And yeah, I don't like seeing that, but in general, they are reliable. I have a love-hate relationship with Kawasaki. They build some awesome stuff, some really powerful sport bikes, and some pretty powerful cruisers. I just don't like the way Kawasaki engineers things. Like, they'll do a performance mindset as far as the engineering and forget about maintenance and how much of a pain in the ass it is to work on, or longevity. They're all about performance. Whereas Honda will innovate. They'll design something and they will test it for 10 years before they put it into production. So by the time it's in production, it's pretty much badass. And I love Honda for that. Yamaha, when I was a teenager now, I didn't like Yamaha dirt bikes, but as I grew and owned a few Yamaha street bikes, I began to appreciate some of the things they did. The Yamaha Cruiser series, they're some pretty neat looking bikes, and they have a really good sound to them. I have a lot of videos on the Yamaha Roadstar I had, which that was a great bike too. The Royal Star I had just before I bought this last Harley, I had a Royal Star Venture, the V4 touring bike. That was a badass machine. Like, if a lady didn't run a red light and hit me and total that bike, I would still be riding it now. I would have never bought my Harley. And actually, Mrs. Phoenix Motorsports liked that Yamaha Royal Star more than my Harley. She was more comfortable on it, just liked everything about it better. Obviously, I dig a Harley, but yeah. So, I mean, I am no stranger to metric motorcycles, and most of the stuff you see me work on is going to be metric. There's a guy in my town here that works on Harleys. He's got his own shop, and he caters to folks who, God love him. He's got to keep lights on in his shop and pay his employees. And that my shop is in my backyard. I have a big ass garage. It's part of my house. I own it. I have less overhead, so I can afford to charge less. This dude cannot. He caters to people who can afford to just hand you $4 grand here, fix my bike. I don't. I cater to somebody that's like, man, I can afford parts, but all right, bring me a fucking hoagie and some iced tea or something. For you out of the country, a hoagie is a big sandwich. Order me a pizza, but you're gonna hang out and help me work on the bike. That's my whole thing. From a business aspect, I don't care if I make money, dude. I do really good at my job, so whether I make money or not is not that important to me. It's spreading the love and just making content for you, being able to give something back to the motorcycle community. So, all right, look, I definitely got to sign off here. I got to get ready for bed. I will see you guys real soon. Hopefully, the next live will be from the garage. After Black Dragon shouted me out, I really felt it was important to get on here and show face. I got a whole bunch of subscribers in the last week or two, so I wanted to get you guys to get a chance to know me. There ain't no fake bullshit on my channel. Like, this is me. What you see is what you get, like it or hate it. I'm a recovered drug addict and alcoholic and weirdo. I've been through the ringer in life. I guess you can call me a biker. I don't know. I've messed with motorcycles all my life, and that's what I live for. So thanks from the bottom of my heart to all the folks who subscribe and watch my shit. I got to go to bed, man. I'll catch you guys later.